Cyberfrog 3 is live right now on Indiegogo. Link in the description below. Okay. Boy, I'm sorry I read this. I bought this one unironically. This is Marauders number 20. It's from 2021. It's about 20 years after I worked at Marvel Comics on the X-Men with Grant Morrison. I think my first book was New X-Men number 117. And that run, Grant Morrison's run, which I contributed to, very fortunate to do that, is going to go down as the greatest run of X-Men of the 21st century. And there isn't going to be any competition. I will tell you that right now. It's just not going to happen because this is what there is right now with regards to new X-Men comics. Holy cow, this was bad. I actually thought this was going to be okay. I picked this one out to read kind of unironically. Like, I thought it was going to be a nice reprieve from the terrible SJW comics that I've read so far on this channel to review. But no, this is just as bad. Of course it's a Marvel comic in 2021. Of course it's a terrible comic. So yeah, like I said, I went to the comic shop and I just picked up a bunch of random comics to do reviews of, modern ones, not like necessarily up to the minute, because this one, like I said, is from 2021, but modern ones. I figured that, look, I'll just kind of catch up with things. And I'm in absolute agony reading this garbage. Just terrible. Look at who wants to read this? You open up the first page of a comic book and it's just blank. It looks like a piece of typing paper or a printing paper, and it's got some. I don't want to read this. I don't want to read this. Can you just give me comics? How hard is it? I understand. It's like you guys over there. You're reserving your storytelling pages for people sitting around eating food and gossiping. I understand that. Comic book illustrated pages are at a premium in modern times here, but I don't want to read this. This looks like a chore to read. It's a little note from Emma Frost saying, "I hope you enjoyed this diamond brooch I made for you." I don't want to read this. And then you turn the page and look at this. More of the same. It looks like this comic isn't finished yet. It looks like somebody's book report on this comic. I mean, is this supposed to be funny? GERRY DUGGAN, scumbag. This guy's always giving Comicsgate problems. He's a big SJW. I hadn't read any of his work before, but after reading this, I'm pretty sure I really thoroughly dislike GERRY DUGGAN, and I'll tell you why. What we have here is we've got the X-Men. By the way, the art, as usual, we've got some decent art. I mean, I do tend to pick some good artists here in terms of the books that I buy. We got somebody named Stefano Carelli. So once again, there's a Carelli or Caselli. I think it's Caselli. Let me put my spectacles on. It's Caselli. Stefano Caselli. He is the artist, and he's okay. He is pretty good. He reminds me a lot of Carlos Pacheco, dearly departed. Now here's what I don't like. What did I tell you? Like, there are going to be pages and pages of the X-Men sitting around gossiping and eating. But not only that, they're all in costume. They're on a boat. They're heading towards the Hellfire Gala Ball, which I'm sure I'm going to have to read some of that. God, the X-Men has become really, really gay. Really gay. And I mean that literally. The irony of this, the we're silly Billy, we're not really taking this seriously. Everybody is in full costume at the dinner table, including Iceman, who is iced up sitting at the dinner table. Do you understand? The X-Men used to be kind of cool. Like, they wore their costumes when they were fighting, they were in battle. But like most of the time when they went out, they went to the movies or they went out to, go shopping or something like that. They wore their civvies and they called themselves by their first names. Like, by the way, here's Pyro. Pyro was a skinny cracker supervillain. He's now, I guess, just a mutant, kind of a good guy, even though he's got a skull, looks like tattooed on his face. He's been given a reprieve, and they like him now because he's a homosexual. Of course he is, right? Pyro is gay. And he calls Aurora here Storm. He just calls her Storm. Look at this. I'm impressed, Storm. Don't you know her? I mean, you're sitting right next to her at dinner. Can you call her by her first name? It's stuff like that that's really annoying. So they're sitting there and they're like, I guess the whole plot of this is, how many knives does Storm carry around on her person? And they're taking bets about, like, I couldn't care less about this. Like, oh, how many knives? Well, that's almost interesting. Here's the part that really, really bothered me. Look at Iceman. Iced up at dinner. Like, sitting around the dinner table like an a-hole. Fully iced. This looks like the same panel. Here's what bothers me. Let's remember a time when Storm and Iceman were in an alleyway somewhere in, like, Argentina or something. Where are they? They're in South America, just beating the living shit out of the hate monger. Do you remember this? Why would this happen? Since when would like a hate monger be? All right, here's the thing about hate monger. Hate monger was a really, really neat villain from the 1960s, very early. I think Fantastic Four number 21, Jack Kirby Stan Lee. You had kind of a KKK type of character back when the civil rights movement was actually a thing. And the KKK was still active, in the early 60s. So Stan and Jack had the hate monger, and the hate monger was a clone of Hitler, and he had, like, Hitler's brain. Like, Arnim Zola preserved Hitler's brain and then cloned him a few times. And so they kept kind of defeating the hate monger, but, like, they still had clones of Hitler out there. He was a Captain America villain. He fought the Fantastic Four, S.H.I.E.L.D., etc., etc. He's that level of villain. What is he doing in an alleyway fist fighting Storm? This isn't what hate monger does. However, this is a different version of hate monger. That hate monger was kind of a really big threat because he was actually, Hitler's psyche, his persona. He had a hate ray, a gun that would make people hate each other and stuff like that. He was a pretty neato villain. But no, this is just a guy. The SJWs at Marvel, the writers over there, they needed somebody to represent Republicans. They needed a villain who would represent people who voted for Trump and to preserve and strengthen our borders. And so they created this new version of the hate monger who's, oh boy, what was his name? Let me see if I can just remember it real quick here. Hate monger, new version of hate monger was named James something or other. He was a postal worker. And as a postal worker, he got fired from his job because he started, like, getting really upset about immigration. He was like, the immigrants are going to take my jobs. And then he, like, wore his hood. He wore a hate monger hood to work. And then they fired him. So essentially, hate monger is somebody who would want Trump to build the wall, right? He's somebody who is worried about illegal immigration. He thinks that's a real problem, and it is a real problem. And the fact that the President of the United States right now is not protecting our borders and has basically opened our borders deliberately is treason. That is a fact, and people should be concerned about that. We shouldn't just let people into the country without making sure that they pass some sort of standard of test. They need to actually wait in line and actually immigrate. Being worried about that is not a problem. It isn't racist. There's nothing racist about that. And yet, this is what GERRY DUGGAN would like. If you're concerned about protecting the borders of the United States of America and you believe that countries should have borders, this is you to these people. So you've got Storm kicking this guy. And by the way, Storm beating his ass, breaking his kneecap, and then she, like, leans down and she says something so righteous to him. Storm says something so righteous to this man about how evil he is for wanting to secure the borders. This guy's just a regular guy. He's a postal worker. But that's the whole thing about him. He's a blue-collar guy. He represents you. Do you understand? This guy represents you, most people, most normal people. And she says something to him that shakes him up. By the way, like, is he black? No, maybe not. I can't really tell. Like, it just looks like maybe he isn't. But I guess he isn't. But anyway, whatever Storm says to him is so awesome because she's so great. He throws his mask in the garbage. No longer is he going to be the hate monger, the guy who really cares about securing America's borders and protecting our infrastructure and protecting the people of the United States, making sure that drug mules, and sex trafficking and all that stuff doesn't doesn't go unchecked at our southern border or our northern border, Canadians. We got our eyes on you too. This is you to them, and so this is the whole thing. Why are the X-Men fighting like a hate monger, a fake hate monger? Because this is, first of all, worrying about illegal immigration equals racism to the left and to people like GERRY DUGGAN, and racism is the single worst possible imaginable crime. It is the worst possible evil. Having any kind of prejudice, even though people who believe that hate Republicans and look down on white heterosexual males, these people are, of course, very prejudiced themselves. They need to look in the mirror. But this is the worst crime imaginable. So they had to take an old villain from the past, put a hood on him, and then he is the bad guy. He's the villain, not the Sentinels, not Magneto, not the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, not any of the great villains of the past. Essentially you. This is what they think of you. This is what you look like to them. And this is what they want to do to you. They want to break your kneecap. They want to give you righteous speeches on Twitter that'll just change your mind and make you change your life, and I guess vote for Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden next time around. I don't know. Super annoying, out of nowhere. Little plot point here. These people are obsessed with what they consider to be Nazi punching, and you are the Nazi that they want to punch. And here it is in an X-Men comic. This book is trash. It is just all around garbage. Everybody's sitting around validating Storm. Turns out she has this many knives. Wow. She's got a whole lot of knives. By the way, look at Peach Momoko. Yeah, terrific artist she is. I like her name, Peach Momoko. Anything else of interest in this? Let me just... Oh, God, this is garbage. Again, and it ends. It ends the same way with like a form letter from a company. I'm not reading this. I mean, I did read it because I have to read this comic, but I just want to say my attitude about this is I'm not reading it, okay? I'm not reading it. This can go in the garbage. I'm not reading that part. Oh, look at this. Universal Orlando. That's a fun theme park. The Incredible Hulk roller coaster is one of the most fun roller coasters of any theme park. Why can't Marvel be fun like this? That's the question. Why does Marvel have to be like this? Oh, look at, there's a Sentinel. Maybe something will happen next issue with a villain of it's just his severed head. Probably not. I'm not getting suckered into it. I'm not buying issue 21 of this crap, this garbage. Terrible. Thanks everybody for watching this. If you enjoyed this video, please hit a thumbs up. Listen, leave me a comment. I read all of my comments. You like this video, and please share this video, and most importantly, please subscribe to this channel. We need you here, and your hitting subscribe is going to help make this channel move. So thanks a lot. Also, subscribe. Oh, not subscribe. I'm sorry. Back Cyberfrog 3 Red Extermination. The links are in the description below, along with all of the other Cyberfrog campaigns that are available now. I'm telling you, Cyberfrog is going to be way more fun to read than this. It just is. It is more fun to read than this. Follow All Caps Comics on Twitter or X or whatever at CyberfrogHD, and be sure to check out all our links in the description below.